Every time a prospect says, "Let me think about it," a specific mechanical decay begins. In the world of B2B sales, time acts as the heaviest friction point. It actively drains psychological momentum. This timeline maps a standard 6-week sales process. These steep vertical drops quantify the exact moments interest fades. As the gaps between interactions widen, buyer motivation decays, leaving the prospect to navigate hesitation alone. The cost of chasing a cold lead is high. Securing a commitment before the prospect leaves the initial meeting eliminates the administrative burden and financial waste of the traditional follow-up cycle. Stalled deals are rarely the result of a bad product. They happen because structural delays give time the opportunity to erode the buyer's initial certainty. There is an alternative to the 6-week crawl. It is the deal on the day, a framework that allows a complex transaction to reach its conclusion in a single, seamless interaction. Multic services, integrated through Laris, achieve this velocity using a proprietary behavioral sequence called the FIDAC formula. FIDAC is a specific psychological sequence designed to guide a buyer toward an immediate commitment by maintaining the energy of the meeting until the deal is finalized. The process begins with F, favorable attention. In B2B sales, this is distinct from the loud, distracting hooks used in retail marketing. Securing favorable attention requires you to establish authority in the opening seconds. The buyer must immediately recognize they are speaking to a peer who understands their operational reality. That authority leads to I, interest. This is the moment a buyer shifts from passive observation to active engagement. This diagram shows how interest is engineered. We map authority directly onto the buyer's specific pain points, locking into their operational gaps. The buyer trusts the alignment. But while the foundation is stable, it currently lacks the forward trajectory to close. Favorable attention and interest create trust, but trust alone does not generate revenue. You still need a catalyst to trigger urgency. That catalyst is D, desire. This is the pivot where a service transitions from being a helpful idea to an urgent operational necessity. Multics engineers this by contrasting the buyer's current friction-filled state with the ideal future they could secure before the meeting ends. High desire creates psychological pressure. If you do not provide A, action, that pressure has nowhere to go, resulting in buyer frustration. The action step must be frictionless. You offer the client a clear, instantaneous micro-commitment they can make right there in the room. Asking a motivated buyer to review a complex contract later that evening is a common failure. It forces them to recreate their own excitement hours after the momentum has peaked. By providing an immediate action, you trap the psychological momentum. This removes the buyer's burden of deciding what happens next. This leads to the final phase, C, the close. Multic specifically defines this as the assumptive deal. A traditional tension-filled closing question is unnecessary if the first 4 steps were sequenced correctly. The assumptive deal is a natural transition. It matches the rhythm of the conversation, moving seamlessly from the pitch into a working partnership. The architecture of the same-day close is simple. The buying decision is made during the first 4 steps. The close simply formalizes the reality you have already built. This flowchart shows the effect of the FIDAC formula across an entire pipeline. Tangled, unpredictable sales timelines are condensing into synchronized high-speed nodes. Multics and Laris services increase a company's operational velocity. They remove weeks of administrative lag from the revenue cycle. Optimizing conversion rates relies on the correct psychological sequence. Providing that sequence makes the usual delays for deliberation unnecessary. You can learn how Multic services, supported by Laris, can install this same-day closing engine into your own B2B operations. In the modern B2B landscape, commercial certainty can be precisely engineered. Time-based hesitation is not an inevitability. It is a system failure.